My name is McKeyra. I'm founder of Ball in the Six and the McKeyra Group Corporation. I just believe that I can help people out. I can change the world. I can really enhance people's abilities to do what they want. Basketball is my love. It's my family's love. So I want to really change that community, and I'm going to start off with Toronto. I genuinely feel like I'm going to change the entire landscape within 2 years. I have a family now. I understand the plight of parents and the full scope of what it goes into living in Toronto and being a parent. So if I can help out others and I can build that model, then I've done my service while I'm here on this planet. That's what I'm about, just making people's lives better and putting people in dope clothes as well. Check it out, ballinsix.com. I was born in Canada. My parents are from St. Lucia. My mom left St. Lucia when she was about 27, went to England for 2 years and said, I'm gonna go to Canada. So I was born Canadian citizen. St. Lucia nationals, they either go to New York, England, or they go to Toronto. There was more family in Toronto, and I don't think my mom liked the weather in England. Sometimes a bit gray over there. Just decided to come to Toronto. Just took a chance at a young age, right? It was purely just a matter of, this is where she had the most family and what made sense to her. From a young age, when I was in elementary, I was like a track star. That's before I hit my growth spurt. I kind of bulked up a little bit, and it was always basketball. And going into high school, I was always a debater, and I could talk a lot. My dad and one of my brothers are lawyers, so I always saw myself being a lawyer. So I went to school, U of T, took criminology, prepared for the LSATs. I worked at the Law Society, and that was my route, and just moved away from that. It wasn't what I saw for myself in terms of the long term. Coming out of high school and going to the University of Toronto downtown, there was no one else from my high school. I grew up in Malvern. I went to Mother Teresa. There weren't too many people taking criminology in that area. Being in a place where there's like maybe 10 or 11 other black people, and then having to travel an hour and a half every single day and just navigating that for 4.5 years, that was extremely challenging because I had family and friends who had passed away during that time. I have a mental disability, as people would want to call it. Just learning how to progress regardless of the challenge. That's what I got from university time. As I've gotten older, right, like I'm 30 years old now. So in my business side, right now, currently, it's learning how to continue to grow your brand and to structure your business is my biggest challenge. Knowing that you have to look 2-3 years down the road and forecast things, and really that's my trajectory, which is building an application and then growing a rather large brand. But I've had other adversities, from people stealing my logos to dealing with friends who don't pay their bills on time. Everything is a challenge, but everything is a learning opportunity. I don't take anything for granted, really. You're going to get frustrated to an extent, but it's all about being objective and just taking what you can and applying it so that you can avoid those situations in the future. Because they're going to happen. There's going to be failure, there's going to be mess ups, there's going to be people who do foul stuff to you in business and in life. You just have to be able to move on. People talk about leaving their job, and they do it for 6 months, they do it for a year, but like to leave your job. And I felt sick when one time I had to think about going back, working for someone else. There's no point. That's not my calling in life. If I do that, I'm doing a disservice to myself and everyone else. But to get to that point is not easy. And you have to have the right structure, you have the right people in your life to be able to take that leap. I took it. It's been a huge, huge journey, because I've had opportunities because of my background to get really well-paying jobs and stability. And when you have a kid, you want to make sure that you provide for them, and stability is a huge thing. When you own your own business, if you don't get up and you don't push things for a month and things start slowing down, everything falls on your shoulders. Desire to continue pushing and to accept opportunities as they come along has probably been the boldest thing that I've done. And it started off with doing a Kickstarter. I came up with an idea, I get a Kickstarter immediately. I talked to the biggest development firm immediately. I got stuff on TV immediately. I got brand immediately. I wanted to do something that no one else has ever done, and that's what I'm doing right now. You're going to start seeing it more and more and more, but I haven't even got started, which is what's most exciting about Ball in the Six. What is Ball in the Six? It starts off with the 6 degrees of sports, as I coined it. You start off with a player, they play on a team, there's a coach, they play in a league, there's the business, media, organization, and then the fan. First degree is the player, and the last is the fans, right? They drive the sport. Break down any sport into these different degrees, and you start offering them services. Start offering them applications or things that would enhance their interaction with the sport. You can essentially change the way anyone interacts with the sport. Especially at the grassroots level, you can affect kids' lives. One of the things that I discovered last year was jerseys are very, very expensive. And Nike and Adidas and Under Armour, they charge parents a lot of money to get quality stuff, of course, but it's a lot. And then they don't do their printing. So I offer printing for teams, leagues, and organizations, and I get them high quality custom jerseys that no one else in the world has. Everything's custom designed. And I'm now improving your membership's experience. I'm giving you some more money in your budget that you can allocate towards the kids. Through word of mouth, it's been able to really grow at a pace that I'm just trying to handle right now. We're going to be taking that on a national level, really pushing some more with overseas and the States, right? So the clothing line, build brands for players. The dunker, Daniel Cabella, he has a 52-inch vert. He goes around and he competes. He's going to be going to 9 different dunk contests across Paris and Europe. He's going to be involved in 6. We're building his website. So we really just look at the different ways people interact with the sport, enhance it. We help you to enjoy it more or to make more money from it, depending on where you are. It's just a constant reminder to never give up. There are times where you objectively have to look at the situation and it makes more sense to not give up, but to back away. You get to a point where it doesn't make sense. If there's like a sliver of hope, it might be one day, it might be one phone call, everything will make sense. You don't want to cut yourself short. A lot of people say it, you don't want to have regrets in life. In every situation, really look at yourself, say, will it bother you? Do you want to do this? If you want to do it, then you need to do it. But you need to look at your situation to make sure it makes sense for you. Didn't come this far to only come this far. You get to a certain point, it's all a mindset. It's how do you look at coming this far? Because you might do something completely different, but the reason why you got to that place is so you can do that next step. It's really just a matter of mindset. If you feel like you shouldn't have done it, it's more you're regretting the decision that you made. That was just a part of the process. Every couple of months, I'm like, yeah, like I've gotten pretty far, but like it'd be easier if I just go get a $150,000 job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could just sit back and just make someone else some money. But no, I didn't come this far. I didn't push my brand. I didn't create these relationships to stop at this point. You just have to see it through if you believe in what you do. Advice that I would have to youth, anyone who's coming to Canada, find something that you enjoy doing and invest your time into it. It could be 2 or 3 things. If you commit yourself for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you can really get a foothold in Toronto. It's a very small place. Or even Canada, it's a very small place. It's not a lot of people really. If you're doing good work, if you're a good person, if you're a good employee, you can travel within whatever it is that you're trying to do. Got to be persistent and not let the system get to you. Not let anyone really get in your way. Just focus on yourself and your family, your circle, and just build. My name is McKeyra Peter, and I didn't come this far to only come this far.